I have Hakan with me. Hakan, good morning. How are you?
Hello, Andrew. I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Good. It's another day in paradise, is what I always tell everybody. Um, we're taping this on June the 3rd. So for all those watching, that's why it's the morning for us. I don't know what time you're seeing this video, but it's early for us. So Hakan, why don't we start? And what I love to do in these kind of presentations is if you could tell the audience all about you and your career. I know that your dad was in the cotton business, but maybe you can explain your family's history to this industry and yours.
Yes. So my father was the person who would supply cotton to major yarn producers in Turkey. And, having a family business, you always have to be involved somehow. And that's exactly what I did. So when he was short on drivers and when he needed someone to go take samples and drive the workers from one mill to another, that was my job. And then sometimes I had to work with people who actually didn't speak Turkish. And when I was doing this, I was 16 years old. I did not have a driver's license, but I still was driving them around because that's what we had to do. Um, then in 1999, I came to States to go to school, and I met my wife. And since then, I've been here. We've been married for 17 years, and we have a 10-year-old child. My involvement with Denim was started with ISCO because of our relationship with them in the past. From 2005 to 2013, I was representing ISCO in multiple different territories in the US, which where I learned a lot. And in 2013, I started representing Calik, and then later on, Vivalo, and now with Fiber Trace. Um, Trying to keep myself busy and in interesting projects.
You sound super busy. Where do you live?
Where do I live?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our home is in San Diego, but I have a live and workspace in Los Angeles. That's where my showroom is, very close to Lucky Brand, actually. So I live during the weekdays in LA and San Diego during the weekends when I'm not traveling.
I did a study years ago on where I wanted to live, and San Diego was one of the considerations because it's supposed to be sunny 330 days a year. So I know it's an exceptionally beautiful place.
It's a very, very nice place. It's a place to raise a child. My wife never liked LA, and she never wanted to live in LA. So we always somehow came back to San Diego.
So we're here for business.
Yes.
You were the one that told me that American brands are moving garment production to Turkey. There's a lot of talk about American production coming back, but your story is American producers going to Turkey. So I think
Yes.
that's interesting, and that should be shared. So tell us what that's about.
Well, in the past, Gap and Levi's, up until the early 2000s, they had quite a bit of investment in Turkey with manufacturers. But along the way, that has changed. Most of that business moved to Asia. And then what happened with emerging brands from Europe, and Turkey is a country that has been dealing with textiles for a long, long time. And that was always Turkey was always the doing the manufacturing side for European brands, but along through these years, it has increased more and more. And what happened with the exchange rate in the last couple of years, lots of mills from Turkey becoming major players in the denim world, and with their innovative and sustainable products. And because of that reason, and also the exchange rate, a lot of brands started to invest back in Turkey, along with increased prices in Asia.
So without being like prying or asking something I'm not supposed to ask, how many brands do you think are that you know are moving from U.S. production to Turkish production?
Well, I wouldn't. Well, I lots of brands. I don't know the exact number, but lots of brands, not just moving production from US to Turkey, but also a lot of them moving their production, maybe some of them from Asia to Turkey. Basically, I think it has a lot to do with brands being much more successful and much more smarter these days. And then they see the model aligning your supply chain is working. So a lot of brands are because of these mills making these amazing products, and also encouraging brands to produce the garments where they buy the denim because they would like to reduce their cost.
When an American brand moves their jean production to Turkey, is it to support their European sales, or is it to support their American sales, or both?
Both. I think it's first it's first for their European business because of the taxes, the duty. I'm sorry. I mean, uh, in Chorlu, for example, right now, a wonderful brand, Citizens of Humanity, has a fully functional facility. It basically, the fabric goes in, finalized, beautiful garments come out, and and then so this is just one very unique example. Citizens of Humanity doing everything themselves, but a lot of American brands are working with a lot of different manufacturers in Turkey now, either in already in full-on production, or slowly getting in there or developing. I think the COVID has impacted that negatively, but I truly believe that if the exchange rate continues this way, I think we're going to be seeing more brands going back to Turkey.
I think 10 or 12 years ago, the number that I heard was that Turkey produced, as a nation, like 600 million jeans. And I heard that it dropped down to something like 500. So this might be a period where they start to go back to their former numbers. Do you think that's possible?
I think so. I think so. And I just realized, my apologies, that I have.
By the way, that was my wife's shoes that dropped at that sound that you heard a few minutes ago.
Oh, no problem. I just also realized that I have my mail open. Let me just close that real quick so we don't have that sound. Sorry about that. Here you are. My apologies.
Okay, so let's go back to another question. Let's go a different direction. How is
Sure.
how is Calik in particular helping brands that want to go back to Turkey? If a brand wants to produce in Turkey, Calik, what can you do to help them?
Well, so first of all, let's just talk about Calik a little bit, because it's not a lot of people know
Yeah,
how big
let's
is Calik.
go into Calik, the holding company, and what's the story with Calik? That's good.
Yeah, the Calik Holding is a very big company. I don't know the exact number right now, but before COVID, it was almost a $6 billion a year company, and has a major player in 7 different industries, including mining, also construction and energy business. Over 30,000 employees. That's a big number. And the Calik Denim is, I think it was established in 1985. It's for the Calik family. It's a father's business, so they have a special connection to textiles, and they always want to keep that business, and they always want to grow that business, and they always want to support that business. And Calik Denim is I, you know, of course, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible, but I have seen so many wonderful, innovative products coming from Calik, and now sustainability is becoming a major part of what Calik Denim does, and because of these innovative products and sustainable products, that our customers always would like to see us first and see what we are doing, and then because of what we have to offer as a company, and because of the collaboration we have with the right people in Turkey, I think they feel how we can help the customers, or how we have been helping the customers, which is basically connecting them with the right people in Turkey to help them with their supply chain.
You help them with connections. You help them with the road.
Yes,
roadmap.
yes. We don't have any business relationship with these manufacturers. They're just the people that we know that in the past that they have served and took care of our customers in a very positive way. So we basically introduce to them. Just to give you an example, when a brand owner or a designer or somebody in the right place asks me, like, who do you think that we should be working with? We have a list of manufacturers, and then we try to be very fair, and then we just give those names to the brands, and then we go help make those appointments, and we go travel with them, and just basically trying to make things a little bit, because going to a new country could be challenging. It doesn't matter how big of a brand you are. It doesn't matter how stylish brand you are. It could get challenging, and I'm pretty sure everybody can use some help in that sense.
Sounds great. The last question I have for you.
Yes.
What are the plans for your company in the next 6 to 12 months or 18 months?
Well,
where is Calik going, and where do you see the business?
well, creativity is a big part of what we do, and then again, we get quite inspired by the customer problems, and COVID has impacted all of us negatively, and I think it's gonna affect our plans also negatively, but we're still working very, very hard, and when we're trying to go towards everything we do towards sustainability. Now, in order for us to say that we are going towards that way, we're measuring. We basically right now we have a numerator on all of our looms, basically telling us how much electricity each one of them is consuming. And on water side of it, we measure everything to know exactly how much water we are consuming. And then the solar power, the wind power, all of these things. It's like, maybe it's not even maybe I shouldn't even talk about that, but that's the direction we are going towards. And thanks to our customers, they are putting very challenging development requests in front of us, but we love having those requests, because almost every single concept that we come up with at Calik has been inspired by the industry problems. And I think we're going to continue to work that way. We just added 2 more dye ranges because we believe that in the future everything is going to be a bit more custom. There will be more custom fabrics and technologies for certain brands, and that's the direction we're moving towards. Well, complete creativity, more creativity, and then everything we do is in a much more sustainable way.
Okay. Is an indication of how serious you are about sustainability. I'm super happy to hear that.
Yes, exactly. Because I think it's a very, very important point, because if we do not know those exact numbers, then how are you attacking that problem? In order for us to know that we are doing better for the environment and better for our customers, that we need to know what we are doing. So measuring is a big part of it. And then we work on towards reducing that. And then now we have 2 new concepts. One of them is called Declear, and it's just a complete water reduction and then energy. And then the other one, the new one we have now, is called Wash Pro. The numbers that coming from testing are amazing, and so that's gonna help you wash your jeans much less, because we do believe that most of the water waste happens in the consumer level, and so that's what we're attacking now, trying to reduce that as low as possible.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for making the time.
And post-COVID, I will see you physically somewhere soon.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.